Well, hello, welcome back to the channel. So this is part 4 of the homemade camper trailer renovation. It is a renovation because we are redoing the inside of it, the outside of it. We're refoaming it and we've made some changes. So I am on the inside because I am needing to get the wall behind me closed up. So I am going to be reusing one of the panels that used to be here, but I have lowered the height of it. It's now about this much lower. And so I am going to take my panel, push it all the way up to the ceiling, and I'm probably gonna have to do like a 1x4 across the bottom. I think I just decided what I'm going to do on the back side of this. I think I'm going to use some pine boxcar siding that I have some access to, and I'm going to put actual real wood across the back, and I might end up being able to have enough left over that I can rip that and use it as trim all the way around in here, and I will just leave it its natural color. And so I'm wanting to go ahead and get this closed up. I am using sheetrock screws to hold them. My piece of wood is even with that hole and even with that hole. Doesn't help when the tip's not magnetic. All right. Okay. I missed. So there's that, and then a 1x4 will go across here. I still need to do a piece of foam down in here, and then I can go ahead and foam that out. And I can put plywood on the bottom of this if I care to. Can't tell you I really care to because there's a bump out in this, so I'm already having to do that, which is actually, I may not have enough paneling to do that. Well, I messed up one of the paneling cuts, and so I had to add plywood. I also finished filling in the foam over there. I did just have the wife and the 2 huskies come out and try to fit in here. And something I think I'm going to try probably tomorrow is I think I'm going to build a platform that comes out to about here with a leg on each side over here and here, and then a cross board here and one in the back. I'm going to build a platform to see if one of the animals will lay up there, because we don't really have enough space in here. I mean, of course, I knew this was going to be smaller than I wanted. I wanted a 5-foot wide trailer, but this is only a 4-foot, and so I need to try to maintain as much ground space as possible. And so another thing I was thinking is I might go back and put more of that boxcar siding inside of the cab. I also got, I temporarily installed some Walmart exterior lights that I picked up for $20. I got one over here as well. They do work, but whatever. I mean, I could show you. They do work. I don't know how bright they really are. I tried them out yesterday. They're not super bright, but so what I'm going to do now is probably go ahead and cut the foam for here and here, and maybe set the microwave here and try to start figuring out what I'm going to do about building that microwave cabinet. We have this back area. I did end up cutting it a little short with my knife. I had to cross cut it before I could run it through the table saw. So I might put a piece of tape across there. But that table saw does cut it really nice, and it does fit really well when you make it just a hair bigger than it's supposed to be. Fits really nice. So now what I think I'm going to do is tape that joint, and then I think I'm going to fit plywood across here just so whatever I put here has a little bit more support to have something to nail to. We have the back wall plywooded. I had to use 2 pieces. This is a piece of scrap MDF I had with a maple edge on it. And this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then I will put a shelf across here, do another bulkhead over there, might do a top piece, and then just have one shelf up there just to be able to put a couple small things. And so I think I'm gonna keep cutting some pieces and see what happens. I have the microwave enclosure framing built. I went and I added a piece of paneling I still had. I plan on adding a 1x4 across there. I don't have it fastened. It's a pretty snug fit as of right now. And then once I start putting wood back there, I think it's really gonna keep it tight. I'm not worried. I am going to go ahead and, I could hold up my 1x4 just a little bit. I don't think the microwave is going anywhere, and I'm not really worried about air because the whole bottom is still open, and there's a plastic tab on the back of the microwave, only allowing it so far to go back. And then I did drop the wire down inside of there. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the 1x4 on that and then see what kind of option I have of putting plywood up there. I don't have my nail guns with me today, but it's already getting late, and so I may just cut the wood, maybe, and then just have it ready to install. I still don't know if I'm using this yet. We're still working on trying to locate a faucet that we want to purchase. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right, so it's the next day, and I did end up cutting my 1x6s for this. I do need to still make one more piece. The wife and I have decided to attempt to build a bunk bed area inside of the cab to see if it will allow one of our huskies to be able to lay up on top of it. We all 4 got in there last night, and it was pretty snug, and so I think we're going to go ahead and try to build that. I did pick up some 2x4s for that, and then I told her I would do that first so she can come back out and try it out and see if it does work. So I think I'm going to work on that now. Just temporarily installed so we can see how it's going to fit. Realistically, I probably should have brought it down 3/4 of an inch. I didn't think about the fact that I had to put a piece of plywood on top of it. But I was able to get the bench put in, and we did test out the space, and it definitely does help, giving us just a little bit more space on the ground. One of them is able to lay up there. The other one ended up going right underneath and wanting to lay underneath of it, which will actually probably give us more personal space up towards where our heads are. So I did get the generator and the window unit in. This was a toolbox I bought off Facebook thinking I could use it. Not there. It's way bigger than I thought it was, and also way heavier. I did go ahead and order some gas cans and a mount for that water can to fit right here. We did order a faucet to pick up this 1800 watt, 2250 watt peak ultra quiet generator off of Walmart.com. for $300 brand new. And I was just looking at it. It is significantly heavier than I thought it was going to be. So apparently all generators are heavy. But picked it up for 300 bucks. And I mean, it seems really nice. It did not come with oil. It tells you have to add your own oil, 10W30, so that's pretty interesting. But I plan on building a front platform to stick this in the front. I am a little concerned about front weight, but I do have all the cabinets, and now I have that bunk bed and that car battery and the water jugs and the gas cans in the rear. So what my plan is to put a generator, a window unit, and a rack for firewood on the front of this. And so we'll see how heavy that makes the front end when we're done. I'm not sure how I go about determining the weight of the trailer and if it's even, but it's a start. It's the next day again. Yesterday, I got my generator and I did the platform inside. So today I've received a couple more things that I have ordered, and I just spent a couple hours in Lowe's picking up a bunch of plumbing parts. So before it starts raining outside, I want to try to tackle the electrical so I can stop dealing with the battery and having to unhook it and all the wires everywhere. So I'm going to work on the backsplash area, and I think I'm going to relocate the wiring from here to up there. And so I'm going to have to do like a channel in the wood because I wasn't prepared for them to come out up there, but I'm trying to leave some more countertop space. I do think I have everything I need to finish the inside, I think, but I don't know, we will get there. At least now I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this back kitchen area. So I've decided that I need to actually set the faucet in place before I can figure out the shelving. Alright guys, so I was able to get the fuse panel, control panel mounted. I have the wires ran, and to finish hiding the rest of these, I am going to just do that. So now that I have the electrical control panel done, I have the sink, faucet mounted, I have the cutting board, and I went ahead and I mounted the strainer down at the bottom. So I could go ahead and start figuring out what I'm doing under the sink. My plan was to put a straight pipe through the floor, but there's a piece of steel cross member going to the jacks down here underneath. So I need to move it out towards me just a little bit. So I think that's gonna be enough. It's what I had with me. And then I plan on drilling a hole and sticking that thing through. And then if I have to add length, that's what I initially bought. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to drill a hole through there and see where we land.
Wow, that seems really far away now. So I used the original flat cap of this that I saw in another video that somebody used. And you're supposed to be able to drill the right size hole and squeeze these two parts together. Well, I drilled a 1-inch hole and it was too big. So it needed to be like 7/8 or maybe 13/16. And so I ended up having to cut the fin off of both sides and then try to use a washer. But I think it is going to still work. I just had this on here and it does go all the way down. And so I think it will be okay, especially since the water's down here, and the only time that this might leak is if it splashes, but I'm not really worried about it. If it was going to be inside, or if it was going to be upside down or sideways for any reason, it would be more of a concern, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And so then I bought a PEX pipe that I'm going to attempt to put at the bottom. I probably should look in there and see how it sits, because there is a slight bow to this. I could probably, I don't want to fight it every time I put it in there. So I probably will just mark it here. I might also, I thought I might have to put a spacer under that side and kick it up just a little bit to get the water in this corner. We will see how this goes, because I may end up having to buy a second one to put up here if we go through 5 gallons too quickly. Here we are with the plumbing system. So I have a 5-gallon jug from Walmart. I have the 2 shark bite fittings. The hose is ran down through my ratchet hole. I have a hole in the frame right there with my drain coming out right there. These water stains were before me, and I had it looking really nice and pretty, and then I realized I plumbed it backwards. I had the water inlet on the wrong side, And so I just had to move everything, and now it doesn't look as nice as it did. But you have your water line coming up into a filter, and out I have the hot and the cold tied together. So you don't have to fight with turning it in the hot position and it not working. And so I did test it for just a brief second. You can see there is some water. So when I have it wired to a switch, and so when you first turned it on, you could hear it trying to prime, but it didn't really do anything until I opened the faucet. I mean, that is working right there. You can tell my battery doesn't like it very much, but that's working. So when we go camping, we will just toss a bucket underneath and then dump it in the woods when we're done, or put it on the fire or whatever. What I'm going to do is, that container is full minus what I just did. I'm gonna start a timer and see how long it takes to empty 5 gallons at full flow. We're up to about 1.5 minutes, and we have, you can see about that much water. I mean, that is a lot of water pressure. I don't see any leaks yet. I mean, that's actually a lot of water. And it's just going. I was at 2 minutes and 51 seconds and stopped it because the water was that close to overflowing and I have to carry it. So yeah, it's empty. So, I mean, you get about 3 minutes out of it at full speed. So that was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it definitely took down the voltage, but the battery hasn't been charged for a while, and I do have that generator that will be hooked up to it. So anytime the generator is running, it will be recharging that battery. And so I'm not worried about it, but I think it will be very game-changing having a sink, somewhere to wash your hands, somewhere to wash off your plates. I mean, it's going to be so nice. Now that we have the water system done, we're looking at what our options are for the rest of the outside. So there's my generator. It's going to be full of gas. This cooler that I never use anymore because we have that refrigerator, I think I'm going to stack firewood in it, and if we don't need firewood, then I can put other supplies in it, but it's primarily going to be for firewood. This is the outside of the mini split. We think this table's not going to be able to stay here, so it will have to go in the Jeep. But this mini split, what I think I'm going to do is mount it center, because I'm having to be concerned about side to side weight. I just had a piece of foam sitting here that this will get strapped that way, and I don't want to stretch the outside of it. We also talked about the exhaust is on this side. And so when we get to camp and we're going to use the generator, we're going to unhook it and move it away from us, and then just run an extension cord to the camper. One, it will help with sound, but also I don't have to worry about the exhaust causing any of this to get too hot. So it has to get there, and that's probably a good spot for it. And then back here, I have my diesel heater, and I got 2 1-gallon Roto Pats. Well, they're the knockoff Amazon ones, but we're going to put diesel heater here, and I think we're going to do an outlet for the pipe up here, and then that pipe won't stay full time, only when we're camping. And then we're going to mount these 2 gas cans. One will be diesel, one will be gas for the generator. So it's kind of hard to see, but we're kind of going with the line. We are talking about repainting the gray. What I think we're going to do is go see if I can't get the color of my Jeep matched, and then repaint the gray green, leaving the black accents. But I think that will probably be cool just to have a color matched or have it really close to it. Of course, there's still additional things to do, but because I'm wanting to paint, like sealing the doors up and that light fixture, and need a be done after paint. And so I need to reframe and do the paneling for the window unit. So I think that's the big thing I'm going to try to conquer for the rest of tonight, is get that mini split installed. Something a little interesting or neat just happened. So it's hard to see on camera, but I have it laid out, and I had marked this hole, assuming that's where I wanted it. Well, on the inside here, I was kind of guessing where I would want it because of the trim, and I ended up running that screw through, and it was literally dead center of that screw, no measuring, nothing, and it just hit. You can see my mark right there. I mean, just hit it. So I do have a headlamp on, and so, but that's my hole. We'll get that cut out and kind of see what it looks like. Two test screws in, and both of them hit the studs on the inside. So we'll have to move these over, which I'm not thrilled about because I'm not going to have a good way of refastening the outside. I don't know, I'm going to have to put trim around the outside, maybe like some 1x, and so I can refasten around there, but both of them are in the way, or I don't know how much they're in the way yet, so I'm going to try to cut out the plywood first. Apparently math is hard on the weekends. We have the paneling or the foam board down on the inside. I did miss the measurements. Inside, it's not so bad. You can see I missed it a little bit. I don't know why. This pencil line is actually where I need to notch out. So I'm not going to have any wood in here, but what I'm going to do is run a 1x2 on the inside. The 2x4s are where they need to be for the outside, but this frame fastens around the outside of this stuff, so I have to keep this, but I think it will work out. And then I'm going to take the 2x4s back off on the outside where the side pieces and actually spray foam on the inside. Well, we currently have a window unit running. It took a couple minutes, but it is blowing very cold air. So this is kind of the concept of the setup. I will have longer, wider pieces of metal on the bottom. I'm going to take the sideboards off and spray a bunch of foam around this to help seal up the space in between. But it is blowing very, very cold. Guys, so much for watching. I'm gonna call that a video. This is part 4. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace out.